Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like, like what? Like what? Like this, homie. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV, where you already know we're about to get it in. But before we do, hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I appreciate all the support. I'm very humbled by it. So, there was a couple different stories going around yesterday about Lefty Gunplay and him being arrested in Texas, in El Paso, Texas, and exactly what happened. And where was he arrested? Was it in the airport, trying to stick shit in his butt, right? Or was it in a car? Okay, well, the fact of the matter is that he was actually arrested in a vehicle. Okay, not at the airport. That's untrue. I don't know where the airport thing came up, but it wasn't real. Okay, that's not what happened. What happened was he was pulled over, and when he was pulled over, he was found to have something in that car in his possession. And initially, he was pulled over because of not wearing a seatbelt. And when he was, talked to and searched and whatever, he was found to have something in the car. I don't know what it was, if it was a fucking apparatus, a piezo, a pipe, some dope, but whatever. He was arrested, took to the county jail, and from there, upon search, he was found to have, something on him that was contraband. I don't know exactly what it was, whether it was weed or meth or whatever, but it was found in his possession and he was charged, okay? He was given a $35,000 bail and released. Well, here's some backstory to what exactly Lefty Gunplay was doing while in Texas. See, he had went down there, he had did a big concert in El Paso, and we had a homeboy reach out to us, myself and Dubs, yesterday, who's actually from that area and actually had a talk with Lefty Gunplay, pulled up on him and actually got at him. And his characterization of Lefty compared to what we see is very different. So he said that there was a big concert that was going on in El Paso. Lefty was performing. So when Lefty got there, now this hood that the homies from that reaches out to us is a very well-known barrio, especially in that area, right? Now you got to understand, and this is coming from him, El Paso, Texas is looked at differently compared to, say, Houston or Dallas or San Antonio. I got something in my eye. What the fuck is it? I feel like I got a cockroach crawling on my hood shit, right? But anyways, he says El Paso is considered different because it's so far away and so close to the border from the other cities in Texas. They kind of run their own program. It's kind of different, right? They don't function like the rest of the guys from Texas function. They have a whole different way and a different style. Now, I've been through El Paso, Texas. That's the truth. Been to El Paso, went into Juarez, and didn't stay long enough to really figure out how it was or how it wasn't. But I'm going to take the homeboy's word for it because he's a solid dude, and I know where he's from, and they don't fuck around. So anyways, his thing was that they were doing this concert. He pulled up to that concert, and him and a gang of his camaradas, they're the type that you don't have to check in necessarily, but they're going to check you. They want to see who you are and what type of shenanigans you're bringing to their area. And like I said, they're from a barrio that's pretty well known in that spot. So he said that he actually pulled up on Lefty Gunplay, and Lefty had several dudes with him. And his energy was different than what you see on TV or what you see on YouTube, all them shenanigans and all that. He said Lefty wasn't acting like that. Lefty was cool, cordial, and solid, right? Meaning that he wasn't no punk. He wasn't scary. He wasn't trying to bring no drama. He was just doing his concert, getting in and getting out and all that. And so when the homeboy approached him, they asked him like, hey, what's up? Is there going to be some bullshit going on here or whatever? Because the barrio that my homie's from, or the dude we associate with is from, they're not Southsiders or they're not Northerners. They're none of that, right? They're their own thing. And so they hold it down right there on the frontera for their peoples. So, of course, if you see this guy coming in who's pushing a different type of movement, you're going to be aware and you're going to let him know that, hey, this is our area. This is our town, homie. We're not trying to stir no controversy, conflict, or bullshit, but we're trying to see where your head's at. So later on, we can figure out where we're going to leave your head at, you know? And according to him, he said, hey, man, and he's a very respectful dude, solid dude, Hums. He says that Lefty was cool, man. They all talked to each other, shook hands. Lefty seemed, not high, nothing like that. Just wanted to do his concert, wanted to give a performance for the people. He said that it was packed. There was a lot of people there. They were supporting Lefty Gunplay. And after the talk with the man, they decided, hey, man, this Vato solid. He wasn't no punk. He was very respectful in his willings and dealings with the homies. And that was that. Okay. So from that point on is where Lefty did his concert. There was no incidences at the concert other than a couple fucking, probably pushing and shovings amongst people. Lefty was not involved. Lefty did not incite nothing. Lefty definitely was in Texas doing his thing. And so when he left that concert is when he got pulled over. That's when the cops noticed that he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. That's when Lefty got snatched up. And then, of course, he went to jail. And there's a lot of people saying that he was on the airport bringing shit in his butt, right? This is not a Wes Watson episode. The last time I checked, this was a Lefty Gunplay episode. Maybe so. I know one thing. We used to have this thing when we used to roll around the hood. Like, we'd keep a little whatever. And we used to tell the homie, hey, you got to cheek it, bro. You got to cheek it, sneak it, cheek it. Do what you got to do. Let's get it in the spot. Nowadays, it's different, though. You can't get into the county jails. Nowadays, they got x-ray machines, chairs that you sit in, and all kinds of shit. But back in the days, the county jails would be flooded. Guys that get caught up, and they'll cheek some shit. And take it into the county, and people are getting high, and that's how you get your tobacco. And people say, look, you got butt mouth. If you're in the county jail, you've had butt mouth before. All them frajos that you smoke, all that fucking dope that you done, hey, believe me, why my arm smell like chorro? Well, it's because it was inside someone's guts with chorro. That's why he hey, homie, my arm. My fucking arm is about to fall off, homie. I let that when I hit, and then all the peanuts were coming out of my arm. Ugh, right? Nasty. I'm telling you, people that go to the county jail, they used to cheek it or hoop it or do whatever to get it inside the facility for one of many different reasons. Either you make money with it or you continue to get high. Now, there's a lot of people that think Lefty Gunplay is just this big drug addict. And people automatically assume, man, he couldn't go without skunk. He couldn't go without that next hit, or he'll relapse, or he'll be going through it. He'll be kicking and shit. Look, I don't know that guy's business. I know this. I talked to several people yesterday, and one of them said that Lefty is in position to blow up because Lefty's going to be doing some big things pretty soon. So I can only hope, man, and I believe this dude because this dude's solid in the industry. I can only hope that Lefty stays out the way and stays cool until then, because, man, this is something that can make or break his whole career. And when I say make it, I mean make it. I've seen another person become a superstar over the same shit that Lefty's possibly going to be attached to. So for the people that were saying he was in the airport, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. He flew into Texas, and that was cool. Into El Paso, did his thing, and it was him getting pulled over and being caught with something. Now, let's talk about introduction of contraband into an institution. You don't want that in your life. You don't need that in your life, man. That right there in the state of California can stretch you out for years. I've seen several instances where people got caught up on that. Their old lady gets caught up bringing them something, their homeboy, whatever, and you're done. You're done. Now, that was prison. In county jail, I don't know. I've never seen anyone get jacked up. Look, I've seen people get snatched up with stuff on them, and the cops just throw it away like a big pile of shit in the corner. They give you a chance. They're like, hey, if you got anything on you, let us know now before we put you in that holding cell, because once we put you in that holding cell, it's a whole different charge, right? And dudes be like, all right, I got a stick of fucking tobacco on my shit, right? And they pull it out and throw it. Now, some dudes are smart. Some dudes would be like, yeah, right, I got a little tobacco on me. The cop's like, all right, cool, you're being cool, I'm being cool. They throw it away. They want a big old clavo of clear in the stomach, right? So they're already, I got tobacco, right? There's other vatos like,
hey, I got a little bit of black on me.
Well, hurry up, because you're going to get high. You're going to have a little bit of black in you if you don't, do what you got to do. If Lefty Gunplay was really trying to secure some shit and take it into the county, I don't think it's because he's such a dope fiend that he needs dope. He can't survive or live without it. what would you do if you got some contraband and, you've been in prison and you know about the prison pocket, you know about that situation? Like, hey, I got to stash some shit real quick. That's the truth. The truth is Lefty Gunplay did get charged with entering contraband into a correctional facility. And that's not that out of all the different charges, man, is the one that can get him. Now, he bailed right out, got right back to what he was doing. But he's in a position now where he'll have to go back to court. He's going to have to go back to court and fight this continuously. Is this going to be a slap on the wrist? With the Lefty Gunplay is not like he's some big superstar millionaire yet, right? So he's going to definitely have to have him a good lawyer and be prepared for whatever he's got coming. Now, again, the state of Texas is different. Some people say it's rougher and harsher with their laws. Some people say it's more relaxed. I can tell you what the homeboy said. He said that we talked to yesterday about the Lefty incident. He said Elpaso's different, man. It's they don't really trip as bad as you would think, like saying Dallas or Houston or San Antonio. Now, I don't know. Again, I've never been out to Paso. I got fucking friends and family that live out there, but I've never been caught up out there. I could only hope Lefty Gunplay, his situation ain't as bad and he didn't get caught with some super dope, because if he did, that's going to hurt him, man. That's going to hold him. I've seen guys, like I say, get caught with shit, bringing it into the institutions, and I think the most time I seen someone do was 9 years. The homie got 9. He was down to like a year or two, and his old lady was bringing him dope. They let her do it. They let her pass it off. They let him get back to the fucking the building, and then they rushed him, and they rushed her. They snatched her up and held her outside, right? They rushed him as soon as he got into the building before he could do his drop, and then they made them figure out what they were going to do. They the homie, of course, didn't want to blame his wife for none of the bullshit, even though they knew. And so he ended up going to court. They ended up giving him 9 years, I remember. And she got stretched out too. I don't know how much time because I didn't ask him. But it happens. I had a family member. And trippy story, right? So I had a family member, one of my tias. And she was doing her thing for one of my primos. I'll just say that. And they had been doing their thing for a long time, man. She would go to my primo's old lady, right? She somehow, what happened was it was like this. It wasn't my primo's old lady. It was my primo Sally's old lady. And, the primo's going to have to say, damn, we're doing bad. We need to come up. He's like, I got a tia that got it all day, bro. She's willing to, but she ain't going to bring it in herself. She's OG. She ain't like that, right? And the homie was like, hey, fuck, my old lady's down. Putting his old lady in a bad position, but fuck it. That's the way he utilized her. And it's unfortunate, it's the way it happens, but hey, in prison, that's the way it happens, right? And all the movies are correct. Yep. She's slipping into darkness. So, of course, they hooked it up where his old lady met my tia. My tia never liked his old lady. She didn't care for her. She was a white girl. She said ugly, dirty, and just sneaky. But whatever. As long as my primo was getting hooked up, it was all good. So they started out small time dope game on the block with the rock. I'm never broke, man, right? And everything was good. And they started to get more and more and more. They were up to getting a couple pieces on the yard, and everybody, they were hitting, right? And what happened was this chick, she got caught bringing in contraband to her old man. And so instead of her old man and her getting some time, they flipped. They flipped on my primo and his jefa, right? They flipped on him, and they decided to set him up. So, of course, my tia went, met up with that chick where she met up with her before she went to visiting, hooked her with a big old clavo, and boom, right there, the task hit, right? Now, my primo ended up not catching no time for whatever reason. He didn't say none or tell her none. It was my tia. She took the whole time. She ended up going to Chachilla prison for attempted introduction of contraband into a correctional facility. Now, she ended up catching a few years, and she didn't even get caught on the fucking facility grounds. It was all conspiracy shit, but they got her record, the dope on her. She took the case, so my primo wouldn't get caught up. And I've seen that happen plenty of times, right? So that right there in itself tells you they don't fuck around in the state of California. Now, in the state of Texas, introducing contraband, it could be a slap on the wrist, or it could be some major time. In Lefty Gunplay's case, I don't know. But I know that, people that hate him are celebrating the bullshit. People that love him are like, damn, he's fucking up. And he is. He is, man. He's a youngster. He needs to stop partying. He needs to hang around with some real solid dudes that have his best interests at heart, because, little things like this start to add up, and you're not a big enough star for them to overlook some shit. Okay, now he's bailed out. Of course, he's gonna fucking proceed. And a lot of people do that. You get caught up. It ain't no big thing. I got a lawyer. I'll let my lawyer handle it. You know, hey, a little bit of time is too much time. I'll say that. And people are like, oh, he's only gonna do a little counting time. Shit, you go do a little counting time for him. You ain't gonna like that, huh? I'm saying this. I'm saying that to say this. Lefty Gunplay, man, is in a situation now of his own makings. You know, there's a lot of speculation. What it was that he put in his butt. What it, you know, I don't know. You know, it can range anywhere from weed to chorra. We don't know. Whatever, there was something there, something they had to dig out and present to the judge. So for any of you guys that are thinking, hey man, I'm gonna pull up to Lefty's court and see what it is, it's gonna stink in there. The evidence is gonna stink, right? So you guys just be prepared, wear a mask, whatever, because you don't want to catch that shit. As far as Lefty goes, I'm sure that he can handle his business, you know. And according to what the homie said, like I said, the backstory of him going to a concert and doing all that, he said Lefty was pretty solid, man. He said, you know, you see all these things on YouTube, you see all these things that people say about him, that he's a J cat and that he's all. He said, nah, he was pretty solid, bro. He was a whole different person. He knows how to handle his business when he needs to handle his business. Now, I've always thought that of Lefty. You know, I've always thought that of Lefty. I always thought that, you know, people put a bad rap on him. Sometimes this persona, the way he is, makes him look a certain way. Like, I'll be honest with you. When I first seen him, I was like, I've never seen a Southsider like this. It's intriguing to watch what he's going to do next, right? Let's be honest. Got a gang of charisma, but I'm like, I never seen a Vato move like this, have the tattoos like that, but move like that. And then I understood it wasn't just a skante. It was more so just his personality. It's just the way he is. He's a very confident person. He walks into the room. He's very confident. And that right there is what it takes to blow up nowadays. It ain't about how good you can rap. It ain't about fucking how talented you are. It's more so about your charisma and how you can take over a room. And let's be honest, Lefty does that. It's a trip, right? Whether you hate him or love him, man, it's the facts. And that's just the facts. But yeah, now that's the truth that I know. That Lefty was actually caught up in a car, man, not at the airport. I don't know where the airport thing came from. You know, I seen it. I seen a couple of people saying that. And maybe so. Maybe he was, you know, on the way to the airport. But how do you get a fucking click-it ticket in the airport? Think about it. Unless he didn't want to fucking click in and he was all spun out like, I want to fly free. I want to fly free. I believe I can fly, right? Oh, yeah, you can. I believe you got a fucking ounce in your ass, too. Come on, 200 grams or something like that. I don't know what it was. Like I said, maybe he had a signed autograph plaque from Kendrick Lamar that he cheaped because he wanted to take it with him. You know, Lefty's different. Where the average person's like, oh, fuck, man, I got a zip right here. Weed. I'm going to cheat that, take that in, make my money, get my, you know, Lefty's like, oh, no, man, fuck that. Johnny Dane gave me some new teeth. I'm sticking them in my ass, right? You just don't know. He's a different person. Anyways, with that being said, I don't know all these different stories floating around, but I did see a lot of people with a lot of hatred towards Lefty that want to see him locked up. And I was like, wow, why? What did he ever do to you? Why is their hatred? You know, I understand like what he said about the North or the Bulldogs or even some Southerners in the past. You know, there's always a lot of bullshit. People talk a lot of shit, a whole lot of shit. I'm going to be doing videos today about shit talkers. Oh, there's a whole lot of godly men that talk shit, right? At the end of the day, none of it really matters until they do something. Then it goes to the next level, right? With Lefty, it's like he gets so much hatred, and it really is hatred. It's envy at this point. You know, oh, man, you only have 4 words. Crazy guy. You got played. You got played. No, you got played because you listened to those 4 words over and over again. You know, he didn't get played. He got a feature. You know, there's a lot of other rappers that have been doing this shit for a long time that have not achieved this level and so fast that this guy did. Be more prouder than him or more proud of him than you are hating on him. That's just my feelings on the shit. Anyways, like I said, the homeboy reached out and he said that Lefty went for a concert. It was a cool-ass concert. It was packed. Hella people were supporting Lefty, which leads to one guy, right? This Vato in Texas talking about, hey, homie, Lefty's not invited. The homie told me, hey, Paso is apart from all that. They do what they want to do, man. They're on the frontera right there. They're not associated with anything else Texas does. They're kind of like in their own world, right? That's just what he said, man, and I take his word because he's a solid dude. With that being said, man, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. I got some bangers coming out today, man. Make sure that you guys support. Make sure you guys go support the homeboy Dubs and his endeavors and what he's doing on this content today. He's got bangers as well. Shout out to Jesse on Fire, John Bravo. John Bravo dropped a banger. Go support it. And of course, Rascal from Homie Hangout, man. He stays dropping bangers. This is the gun. Bang, bang.